When you are undergoing an underemployment experiment, there will be solicitors, friends or foe, socially, parasocially, they'll be there. And they'll solicit from you what you do all day. Because the canvas of what life without a job looks like is very blank to most of us. But by the glory of an extremely real and not fictitious Harvard research grant, I have been able to throw some paint on that canvas for my own picture over the last, let's call it 16 months. But when I turn that canvas around and try to show people what it looks like, it's still coming up very abstract, you know, if I just describe to them what a typical day looks like. So I actually made a video portrait of it, capturing my first 9 months, and that went over quite well, but still the solicitations came. Like, what does an individual calendar day? What shapes are you sketching? Like, what colors are in that imagery? And, you know, maybe it's time I stop painting with broad strokes. Maybe it's time I stop using this allegory. I gave you the macro view in that video, and now it's time to give you the micro. So let's kick it off with the most unemployed part of my day, I would say, which are the waking hours. And if I may reenact it for you, since there is no way to integritously show you in real time those first moments, because like anytime you see a YouTuber doing a morning routine or filming in bed for that matter, you do realize that they already woke up, grabbed the camera, set it up, and then pretended to be asleep. So it's all a reenactment. So I'm just gonna claim it as such. This is a reenactment. I told you I'd show you my actions in excruciating detail, and let's just treat it like autofiction, okay? Okay. Ugh. Oh my god. So yeah, like I said, this is probably the most unemployed part of my day because I don't set an alarm. I was for a while at the beginning, and then one of my subscribers actually told me not to and told me just to wake up with my circadian rhythm. And because I trust what other people want me to do more than I trust what I want me to do, I complied. I know this is rarefied air I'm breathing. Like, the boot of labor is not crushing my neck for these choice months. So like, I should take full well advantage and let my body do what it wants. However, I am a disordered person. I have sleep apnea and really bad sleep inertia. So typically, if I'm waking up, you know, by my own volition, I'll wake up and then I recognize the weight of my eyelids and I kind of, you know, snooze. And then I snooze again, 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 and then I snooze again. And in those 7 to 8 cycles of snoozing, I'm able to experience like 8 more segments of my dreams. And so it's very motivating to me. So it's ultimately just giving into groggy mornings. And I don't reach full consciousness until probably 10 a.m., like truly and honestly. And then when I decide to live in this world instead of my dream one, I turn to my morning pages. Actually already wrote mine for today, so this is gonna be another reenactment, fake scribbling, etc., etc. And I seal those archival works off. And I let my body slowly adjust to the pace of the day instead of jarringly manipulating my biology to keep up with the pace of capital. Okay, as you can see, my hair is not done setting, but I have therapy in like 10 minutes and I have not eaten yet, so I need to feed myself. And typically, like, one luxury I have as a member of the lumpen proletariat, aka unemployed peoples, is that I can set my own schedule. And that's a luxury I never had at my corporate job. I was very much at the mercy of my feudal overlords, the Outlook calendar, and Slack. And I know myself, and I know that if I schedule something before 11 a.m., I will be disheveled like this and I will be rushing around and I will be not showing up as my full and present self. I wish that employers recognize that everybody has a different clock. Like, we can't just all tick to the beat of capitalism, but accommodations are not usually made. And thus I've been taking full advantage of not scheduling Zoom calls or appointments or any type of session, virtual or in person, before 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on a non-hair wash day. I should take note that on hair wash days, it has to be like 1 p.m. because I only do this once a week, and so I spend my time good and well to ensure that it's gonna last me that long, and so now I am sort of out of sorts. The saving grace though is that since I am paying her and not the other way around, I can show up however the hell I want to, you know? Like there's not a professional consequence to be had. Like most things in my life now, I would say almost all of them, it's really come as I am. Like I don't feel pressure to have my shit together, because it's not. Also, you're not gonna get the B-roll of what I talk about in therapy. That's between me in my innermost parasocial sanctum on Patreon.
Your call has been
Before I talk about the rest of my day, I wanted to talk about what is underneath it all, literally. Because this video is sponsored by Parade, who makes affordable, delightful bralettes, underwear, bras, and in general is just making the category of undergarments sustainable, affordable, inclusive. This bralette is from them. It's called the Cloud Scoop in Crocodile. I think it's excellent because I no longer wear like fully fledged underwear bras. I was shown the light a few years ago by some dear sapphic friends that there are many options for your undergarments, and now pretty much like I'm only wearing like little bralettes like this, and ultimately the quest that I was on was to find the modern day equivalent of the training bras I wore when I was 12. I'm really trying to get back to her because 7th grade me was onto something, and Parade delivered because these are so smooth and they're very giving, they're not restrictive, they just feel supportive, and they knew what I was after because these are literally called vintage soft bralettes. This is the Scoop, and then the last one was the Triangle. I also got a few different silhouettes of their underwear because I've been trying to find more like high cut, sort of cheeky shapes, and all of the underwear I got is in their new cotton. So if you're sensitive to materials and you like to keep it, you know, simple and natural, their new cotton is upcycled and it's made using 95% less water than traditional cotton. It just feels really good to refresh the foundation of my wardrobe. If you're seeking that too, I would suggest hopping on there soon, because even as I was shopping and putting things in my cart over a few days, some of the Parade items I was after were selling out. If you go to yourparade.com/Katherout25, that'll give you 25% off site-wide. Underwear can be so easily overlooked because it's underneath, but now my Parade stuff is like the first thing that I reach for in my underwear drawer. Like, it's S-tier stuff.
That's a good point.
I didn't realize you're up so early.
I mean, fun is just like, it'll get her attention.
That's what you're concerned with, getting my attention?
Well, do I have it?
Well, yeah, because I was like, I just didn't expect the audacity of it. I do not have many friendships with men. Like, I forget the audacity that you, as a gender, share. I forget that.
So one thing you have in common. Yep.
Yeah.
The corporate job I had was a very talkative one, so I knew when I quit, I'd be giving up that very reliable, built-in social time. You would think, now that I don't have to clock in, that I would be a lot more free to socialize during the day, but most of my friends in Seattle do not have a Harvard unemployment grant, so understandably, they are busy working during the day, which is why during this time I've treasured spending more time on phone calls and FaceTime with my long-distance friends. When I had a full-time job, by the time I got off, they'd usually be getting ready for bed, so I didn't get to talk to them much. But now I can really prioritize those relationships in a big way.
I'm like, excuse me, sir. I'm not really counting.
What's a mitzvah?
Talk to you, bye.
Like back in his girlfriend at the time. He was talking about how friends are they dating, but also I'm like
it leaves the bar when it comes on. There's places where there's no listeners.
Like where? I can't think of what to do.
Now I am running a little errand before my meeting. I do recognize, and lately I have been accepting the lack of maybe supposed glamour in my underemployed life. Like I'm not spending my weekdays paddleboarding or hiking or swimming or doing some extravagant excursions. I'm just getting my little tasks done and working on my little projects. And like, I think the glamour is just letting my impulses guide me. Like if I feel like leaving my house at 3:30 p.m. to go run a little errand, I can do that and not have the time I owe to an employer like running in the back of my head. Sometimes I'll do a little midday bike ride or something more leisurely but more exciting, but a lot of times it just looks like this. It's simple.
Okay, well, the errand was a bust, but I did pick up some groceries for my meal tonight, and I had my second run-in of a friend on the street since moving to this new neighborhood, which was the whole point. And since I didn't get it on camera, let me, you guessed it, do a little reenactment for you. And scene.
On this day, though, my friend Jen ended up having a flex day at work, which meant she basically got the day off. So she came over for a few hours and helped me with a little home improvement project.
No, that's the rations. We could do math, or we could just lay it out. Like, there's so many people who do projects like this so haphazardly, and it just like works out for them. And I'm just not that kind of person. Like, whenever I do things haphazardly, it always gets fucked up. Okay, well. Now I will be jumping on my weekly Zoom call with my comrades for the political education project that I volunteer with. I alluded to this in my previous synopsis of my unemployed lifestyle, but I have enjoyed spending more time volunteering my labor with them and taking that work pretty seriously. I am actually very employed. Just not by things that pay me usually. Like if I'm not joining a call for this, I have a call with my zine team once a week, which if you haven't checked out the Rev Zine, it is the companion of my podcast, which is the companion of this YouTube channel. So it's like, if you want to be friends with my creative siblings and check those projects out, they'll be linked below. But like, those take up my time. I don't earn money from either of those things. And then I am part-time self-employed with my videos that I script, record, and edit myself. I live stream and run a Patreon book club. So maybe I'm like overemployed, under leveraged pay-wise. Like it's not enough to sustain me. I do need the Harvard research grant on top of it, of course. Yes, I sent out the texts. The discussion was really like positive, I would say. And then I sent them the notes, and I haven't been tracking co-creators who become active.
Hello?
Oh. Hey. So So dinner actually happened off screen for a number of reasons that are more exciting when I conceal them than when I actually tell them to you. But my dedication to my craft cannot be understated. It looked a little something like this. Actually, I never put my food down when I eat, so it's more like this. Chewing twice and then swallowing. And it takes me like 30 seconds. So it's actually hard to get it on camera because it happens so damn fast at a rate that's actually perilous for my health, but I can't help it. And I'm also wondering why there aren't more mime vloggers on YouTube. Does anyone watch any mime vloggers? How fucking funny and subversive would that be for someone to just mime an entire day in my life vlog or like a morning routine? Like, in saying that, like, it has to exist, like, by the properties of the internet. Like, if I've thought of it, like, it already exists. Rule 34-esque type thing. I will be searching that up, and I will be seeking to collaborate with some mime vloggers. So, yeah. Anyway, at this point of the night, my day actually begins. Like, I feel like some people would say I have a fucked up sleep schedule. I prefer to call it delayed sleep phase syndrome. In my day, that was just called being a night owl. Call it what you want. But yeah, until the witching hour of usually 2 a.m., I'm spending time sometimes on here, if I'm lucky out there, you know? But yeah, because my days are kind of scrambled, like, a lot of times I'm playing catch up at this point for the mustard of the morning. And, you know, I do find that the phasic cycle of my creativity, like, strikes. That's actually how my sleep schedule got into this rhythm, is that I would feel so charged up by, like, being at the editing bay and, like, putting my fingertips in Final Cut Pro. Like, I would just do it from, like, I could start at 4, 5, 6 p.m. and go to, like, 2 a.m. Like, I could just sink into it. Tonight, I don't actually have too much to do on here, and when I don't have too much to do in the evening, that's when I spend anywhere from like 16 to 35 minutes worrying about money and my financial situation and comparing myself to everyone else, and just running a simulator of my savings to income ratio and the grant, of course, and putting those all in a grinder, putting those all in a blender and seeing like how much of the cup they can fill, like how many more months can I do this? Like, honestly, that's what my underemployed experience has been like. Like, I kind of feel like I have this rare and precious thing and I just want to like extend it as much as I can, but realizing that like it's not quite financially feasible. I guess I don't have a lot of like confidence that I can go on and continue my you know, underemployed life. And I think ultimately, like, I feel so immensely fortunate that I've even been able to land in this position due to forces outside of my control and a few within mine. Like, I've found myself here, and lately I've just kind of been worrying that like I'm not making the most of this time. Like, I'm not taking full advantage of like what it means to not have a job, because I feel like what I've shown you today is like a pretty fair representation or reenactment of like one of the less exciting days of my lifestyle. It's not just this bohemian, wondrous, imaginative day to day. It's like, I don't know, maybe it is bohemian and wondrous day to day. What the fuck am I even saying? I need to get a job. Capitalism won. Capitalism won. Let's see, what else do I have to say? Let's pull you in close so I can get nice and conclusive here. I don't know, for me this experience has been more so about the little simple pleasures that I would deny myself, and also my employer would deny me, rather than the bigger landmark ones. Those are sprinkled in, but everyone's budget looks a little bit different. All I can do is zoom in on a little day in my life and portray that. And if you want to zoom in on somebody else's day without a job, I would recommend Tapioca Press's YouTube channel. I recently discovered her because of her video of a day in the life without a job in a completely different hemisphere. And then my dear friend Amanda Mariana also made a vlog I recently watched, her addition to this canon. So, while there will be recommended videos of mine to watch at the end card of this video, maybe I will point you elsewhere. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time, and Katherout.